Hello everyone, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be discussing Yao Guang's best teams. I have been able to test her out for a while now, so I thought I would talk about her some more before her release. And before we get into today's video, I'd love to know if you are excited for 4.0, if you're excited for the characters, being Yao Guang, Sparxie, or even the reruns. Lastly, if you'd like to see more content from me, consider subscribing to the channel, leave a like to support today's video, and now let's get straight into it. To begin, I wanted to go over how the elation mechanic functions for those that haven't seen my previous videos where I went over it a bit, and then afterward I want to quickly go over Yao Guang's kit so we can then get into the teams. The path of elation revolves around a mechanic called Aha Instant, which is powered by punchlines. As punchlines are generated through elation characters or enemy abilities, Aha will appear on the action bar. When Aha takes a turn, Aha Instant triggers, allowing elation characters to use their elation skill. Elation skills do not require charge or consume skill points either. If you don't have any elation characters on the team, Aha will instead use their own elation skill. Aha will have their own speed, which scales based on the number of elation characters on your team and their speed stat. This means more elation characters will cause Aha Instant to trigger more frequently. Punchlines also directly affect elation damage. When Aha Instant triggers, all unconsumed punchlines are consumed, and after an elation skill is cast, the character gains Certified Banger. The consumed punchlines are then tallied, and the more punchline you have, the higher the damage dealt by elation characters. Multiple Certified Banger states can also exist at a time, and all stored punchline across them are calculated together, further increasing elation damage. There are two types of punchlines to keep track of. Unconsumed punchline, which is shared by the team and shown on the right side of combat. This will boost elation skill damage during Aha Instant. And then as for accounted punchline, which are stored individually on elation characters with Certified Banger, this will boost all elation damage. Finally, elation damage does not scale with normal damage bonuses. Instead, it scales with elation, punchlines, and merry-make. Overall, generating punchlines frequently and running multiple elation characters greatly increases the team's damage potential. Yao Guang will be our very first elation character coming into Star Rail and will be an elation support. She will be able to increase the frequency of Aha Instant, provide excellent buffs, debuff enemies, and more. For an overview of her kit, starting with her basic attack, it'll deal blast damage. As for her skill, she'll deploy a zone for 3 turns. The duration will decrease by 1 at the start of her turn, and while this zone is active, the elation of all allies will increase equal to 20% of Yao Guang's elation. And after using a basic attack or skill, Yao Guang will gain 3 punchline. As for her ultimate, she'll gain 5 punchline, and Aha will immediately gain 1 extra turn with 20 fixed punchline taken into account. This turn does not consume punchline and will increase all allies' ult-type res pen for 3 turns. Yao Guang's ultimate will assist with the frequency of Aha Instant, which is a core mechanic of the elation path. As for when Aha Instant triggers, Yao Guang's elation skill will inflict a debuff onto all enemies for 3 turns. This will increase the damage received by enemies under this state, essentially a vulnerability debuff. Yao Guang will deal physical elation damage to all enemies, then deal 5 instances of physical elation damage to 1 random enemy. After using her elation skill, this will also recover 1 skill point for the team. As for Yao Guang's talent, whenever she possesses Certified Banger, after an ally uses an attack, this will trigger the Great Boon effect, which will deal 1 additional instance of elation damage of the corresponding type to 1 random enemy hit. If skill points are consumed during this attack, then Great Boon will trigger 1 additional time. When triggering the Great Boon effect, if the attacker's elation is lower than Yao Guang's, then the instance of elation damage will use Yao Guang's elation instead. This essentially assists with dealing extra damage onto enemies. As for her technique, it will automatically trigger her skill one time at the start of the next battle without consuming any skill points, so you'll immediately be able to take advantage of her skill's benefits. Now when it comes to Yao Guang's teams, she will be best suited for elation characters due to the benefits that she'll be able to provide for them when it comes to being able to trigger Aha Instant more frequently. She can assist with generating punchlines for the team, and then also of course she's going to be able to buff the elation of characters on the team with her skill as well, alongside some other buffs and debuffs within her kit. So due to what she's able to provide, she will be best suited for elation teams, which in the case of Yao Guang, she will be a very nice buffer for Sparxie. Sparxie is going to be able to take advantage of the additional elation from Yao Guang. Yao Guang is going to be able to inflict a vulnerability debuff onto enemies, which will allow Sparxie to deal more damage onto them. Yao Guang also provides ult type res pen for the team, which once again, Sparxie can take advantage of this for her damage output. And on a team like this, Yao Guang is also able to dish out some decent damage herself. Sparxie can nicely take advantage of the benefits from Yao Guang, but she can also provide benefits to Yao Guang herself. Sparxie is going to be able to nicely generate punchline for the team, especially with how many skill points she consumes, as this will be opportunities to generate more and more punchline. And if you have a character like Sparkle on the team who is assisting with giving the team more skill points, this will allow Sparxie to take advantage of this so that she can continuously use her skill to enhance her basic attack, deal a bunch of damage onto enemies, but also generate a bunch of punchline at the same time. Another thing I wanted to mention in regard to Sparxie and Yao Guang on the same team together, now I have tested Sparxie without Yao Guang, and I have tested Sparxie of course with Yao Guang, and one thing I wanted to mention is that when it comes to having Yao Guang on the team, her being able to trigger Aha Instant more frequently is very useful. The reason this is due to the certified banger duration. Certified banger has a specific duration, which for Sparxie it'll be 2 turns, for Yao Guang it'll be 3 turns, as one of her traces allows her to have certified banger for an additional turn. Now when it comes to Sparxie, the certified banger state is very important for her damage output. The reason being, it'll actually enhance her attacks. And what I mean by this is when it comes to, for example, her skill where she's enhancing her basic attack, if you don't have certified banger, then you will not deal as much damage in comparison to if you did. As when Sparxie possesses certified banger, her enhanced basic attack will now be able to deal fire elation damage, and her ultimate will deal fire elation damage as well. And this will highly benefit her overall damage potential. So Yao Guang being able to trigger Aha Instant more frequently allows you to not worry as much about running out of the certified banger state. Aha's frequency is based on the number of elation characters you have on your team and then also their speed. Now if you don't have Yao Guang at all on the team, you're missing out on having that secondary elation character on the team, but you're also missing out on what Yao Guang provides when it comes to Aha Instant in general. And Yao Guang is also built to be a very fast character, so she will nicely assist with Aha Instant triggering more frequently on that aspect as well. So this will help with the uptime of certified banger on Sparxie. Of course, you can use Sparxie without Yao Guang, which Sparxie will get her own team's video, and I'll definitely be able to go more in depth with this once I'm able to test out Sparxie even more. But from my testing so far, it definitely felt way more comfortable to use Yao Guang with Sparxie, especially with the certified banger having very nice uptime, with all the benefits Yao Guang is going to be able to provide when it comes to the additional elation, vulnerability onto enemies, the ult type res pen. Sparxie can nicely take advantage of all of this to improve her damage potential even further. When it comes to Yao Guang and Sparxie, they'll be a pretty nice elation pair, and then of course in the future, depending on how the elation teams go, I wouldn't be surprised if Yao Guang was the support character for elation teams in the future. Of course, we will have to wait and see, which I have mentioned this in previous videos. If you're unsure about Yao Guang, what you could do is wait until the second half of version 4.0 to consider picking her up. Yao Guang's banner, it'll last for the entire duration of 4.0. So what you could actually do is, if you're on the fence, you can wait until the second half of version 4.0. And if you are picking up Sparxie, then of course that will be a nice option to also pick up Yao Guang, since in the first half we won't have Sparxie just yet, which can make her banner feel a little awkward, but thankfully her banner will last the entire patch. So you'll have a lot of time to potentially consider picking her up or deciding whether or not you truly want to pull her. Now when it comes to the rest of this team, you would have another support in the third slot, and then you would also have your sustain option. I have Don Hong on the screen as he is a very nice free-to-play option you can consider. There is also Hua Hua, which she is going to be able to give healing to the team, cleansing, but she'll also be able to give more energy to the team. And why the energy could be really nice is in the case of Yao Guang, she has a very high energy cost of 180. 80. So because of this, Huohuo is going to be able to assist with giving Yao Guang more energy, which can result in you nicely taking advantage of Yao Guang's ultimate a bit more frequently so that you can take advantage of Aha Instant more frequently as a result. So Huohuo can be a nice option. You can also consider alternative sustains if you have them as well. And let's say you are using an abundance character, you can consider using Quid Pro Quo on them to try to give more energy to characters on this team. And as for the supportive option, I do have Sparkle here, which I would highly recommend Sparkle, especially because she is going to be free in version 4.0. In 4.0, we are going to get a selector, so if you do not already have Sparkle, I would highly recommend you consider to pick her up, which I have made a video about this a couple of days ago on which character you should consider picking up from the selector, and Sparkle I would say is definitely a high priority, especially with her Nova Flare buffs. What Sparkle is going to be able to provide for this team in particular is the additional skill points. With her ultimate, she's going to be able to provide Sparxie with more crit damage. Sparkle can also provide Sparxie with advance forward and so on. Something I actually forgot to mention real quick is that Yao Guang will also be able to assist with the skill points of this team, as whenever she uses her Elation skill after triggering Aha Instant, she'll be able to refund 1 skill point to the team. So that'll also be useful for a character like Sparxie to take advantage of, as Sparxie consumes a bunch of skill points to enhance her basic attack. And this also once again results in more punchline generation. If you do not want to use Sparkle though, or you have Sparkle on a different team hypothetically, then you could consider characters like Tribbie, Silverwolf, Cypher, and so on. I definitely wanted to make a note though of Sparkle in particular, especially because she is going to be free in version 4.0. But overall, this team is a very nice option to consider using, and Elation will get stronger over time when more characters that are the Elation path come out. Now for a team that does not consist of an Elation damage dealer, I have tested out numerous general DPSs just to see if they can benefit from Yao Guang's kit, which Yao Guang does have general utility when it comes to the vulnerability debuff, the ult type res pen, so there are general uses, but of course she won't end up being a best in slot. In the case of Archer, I do like Yao Guang with Archer, mainly because of the fact that Yao Guang can assist with the skill points of this team, as she'll be able to refund that skill point when she does use her Elation skill. Archer can also nicely take advantage of the great boon effect from Yao Guang's kit, which will allow him to deal even more damage onto enemies, as shown here. And what Yao Guang can also provide is once again the vulnerability debuffs, which Archer can take advantage of, the ult type res pen. So in general, you can consider using Yao Guang on an Archer team. It's not necessarily like a best in slot option, but it can still be an option overall. And I have also showcased this on the channel as well. And I would say it could be just a pretty fun option to consider using. You would have Sparkle, of course, and then also you can consider Dan Heng if you want to go with free-to-play friendly, supportive, and sustain options. Sparkle is one of Archer's best partners, and when it comes to Dan Heng, he can also be a nice free-to-play option to consider using. So most of this team actually consists of free characters, and when I was able to test out this team, I did get a 2-cycle with majority of these characters holding either a free-to-play light cone or just not a signature light cone. So it was Archer with his signature, but then everyone else on the team did not have a signature light cone. And then when I did test it with more signatures, it ended up getting a 1-cycle instead. It was able to perform nicely, I would say, especially with how many free characters are on the team, and I thought I'd go over the benefits that Yao Guang could provide for an Archer team. But of course, at the end of the day, Yao Guang will be best suited for Elation. It is more than likely when we get more Elation characters, she will find even more use there, and I do have hopes that Yao Guang will be a very vital character for Elation teams in the future due to the fact of how she's able to trigger Aha Instant more frequently, especially with her ultimate, and Aha Instant is a key mechanic for the Elation playstyle. So I'm really interested to see how future teams will go, but I'd love to know what you all think about Yao Guang, if you'll be pulling her or if you'll more than likely be skipping her and potentially waiting for a rerun. Do keep in mind, once again, her banner will last for the entire duration of 4.0, so you'll have a bunch of time to consider either picking her up or to consider skipping her. And I would just wait until the second half of version 4.0 if you're very unsure about her, or if you would rather just use her immediately with Sparxie, then you can also just consider waiting until second half of 4.0, especially if you are low on pulls in the first half, or if you're just once again unsure. But yeah, that'll be all for today's video. I hope you all did enjoy, and if you did, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like to support today's video, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.